The alien ship moved slowly through the empty dark space, like a broken bird trying to stay alive. Fires burned across its hull. Metal plates were melted and ripped away. Inside, the last survivors of the Rillan species sat in silence, shaking with fear. Their homeworld was gone. Their cities were burned. Their families were taken by an enemy so cruel that even their strongest soldiers had no chance to resist. Now only one hope remained, a desperate message sent into the stars. The Rillan had sent a signal to a species they barely knew. Humans. Nobody in the ship knew. If the humans would answer. Nobody knew if the stories about humans were true. Some said humans were kind and peaceful. Some said humans were cold, dangerous creatures who destroyed anyone who got in their way. The Rillan did not know which story was real, but when a species is dying, they do not choose. They only hope. Commander Vero, leader of the last Rillan fleet, stood near the observation window. His golden eyes watched the stars, waiting for something, anything, to happen. "Has anyone answered our signal?" he asked quietly. His communication officer shook her head. "No, Commander. We sent the message 12 times. No reply." Vero lowered his head. His people were tired, hungry, wounded. Their ship engines were dying. If no one came, they would soon drift into nothingness. The officer looked at him again. "Commander, do you think humans will help us?" Vero did not speak. He remembered the stories he had heard in his youth. Humans were strange. They did not follow the old rules of the galaxy. They protected their own, but they were unpredictable. If someone hurt them, they answered with fire. He took a deep breath. "If the humans hurt us," he said slowly, "then they are already on their way." The officer frowned. "How do you know?" Vero stared out the window. "Because humans do not ignore a cry for help, and they do not forget those who cause pain." The room fell silent. For a long time nothing happened. Only the sound of dying engines filled the ship. Some Rillan prayed. Some stared at the floor. Some accepted death. Then, without warning, the lights flickered. A deep vibration shook the entire ship. Everyone stood up, eyes wide. "Commander." The navigator shouted, "Something is entering our sector." Vero turned sharply. "Show it on screen." A bright tear opened in space, like someone had sliced reality itself. Light exploded outward. A massive shadow formed inside the burning crack. It grew larger, and larger, and larger, until the entire viewing screen was filled. The Rillan gasped. A single human warship appeared. It was bigger than anything they had ever seen. Gray armor plates covered its body. Giant engines glowed red like the eyes of a beast. Every part of the ship looked strong, deadly, and alive. "They came," the officer whispered. "The humans came." More tiers opened around the giant ship, and 3 more human vessels slid out of the rift, each one armed with weapons strong enough to destroy a moon. The human flagship sent a transmission. 2 simple words appeared on the Rillan. "The screen stand back." The Rillan froze. They looked at each other, confused. Vero stepped forward and sent a reply. "This is Commander Vero of the Rillan fleet. We thank you for answering our signal. We are wounded. We need—" He stopped. The human ship did not respond. Instead, its cannons moved, its engines roared, and its weapons began to charge. Blue lights glowed across the side of the human flag ship like veins of lightning waking from sleep. Energy built inside the enormous main gun. The air inside the Rillan ship felt heavier, as if the very space around them was warning them to stay away. "Commander, are they attacking us?" A young soldier cried. "No," Vero said softly. "This is not for us." Suddenly, from behind a dead moon, the enemy fleet appeared. Dark ships, sharp wings, red markings across their hulls. The same ships that had destroyed the Rillan homeworld, they had followed the survivors. They were ready to finish the job, but this time, the Rillan were not alone. The human commander's voice finally came through, deep, calm, cold. "We received your signal. Do not interfere." Vero felt his heart beat faster. That tone, it carried no fear, no doubt, only purpose. Human Commander Vero began. Please, those ships destroyed our world. They will, the human voice interrupted. We know exactly what they did. Vero froze. Then the human added, with a voice that echoed through every Rillan heart, and we do not forgive. All at once. The human Warfleet moved. Their cannons fired first. Beams of blue and red light cut through space like burning ropes. The enemy ships tried to dodge, but they were too slow. The first blast tore through 3 ships at once. The second blast crushed an entire squadron. The third blast exploded a capital cruiser into dust. The Rillan watched in silence, shocked. They had asked for help. But humanity was delivering something else entirely. Not rescue, not protection, but devastation. Commander, Vero whispered under his breath. What have we called upon? The human flagship charged its main cannon, and the blue light grew so bright that even distant stars faded. A single shot fired. The universe seemed to hold its breath. And then, star-sized explosion lit up the entire sector. The battle had just begun, and the galaxy was about to learn why humans were feared. Asterisk, the battlefield glowed with blue fire. Human weapons tore through the darkness. The Rillan survivors watched from their damaged ship, speechless. They had expected help, but they never imagined this. Commander Vero felt his legs weaken as the human flagship cut another enemy cruiser in half with a single railgun shot. The broken metal burned brightly as it drifted away in space. These weapons, Vero whispered, they are beyond anything we have ever seen. Beside him, his officer trembled. Commander. Humans fight like they are angry. Vero did not answer. He felt it too. Humanity's attack was not calm. It was not careful. It was furious, as if something deep inside them had been waiting for this moment. The human fleet shows its teeth. The human warships moved like predators. Not rushed, not wild, but controlled, sharp, and confident, like they had done this many times before. Dozens of small fighter crafts launched from the flagship, leaving red trails across the stars. They flew straight into the heart of the enemy formation. The enemy tried to lock onto them, too. Late human fighters spun sideways, flipped over, and fired at impossible angles. Every shot hit. Every strike destroyed. The Rillan watched as one human pilot flew straight into a group of enemy ships, turned off engines, drifted through their formation, fired for missiles, then reignited engines, and escaped seconds before everything exploded. Impossible, the Rillan navigator said. How do they move like that? Vero exhaled slowly. Humans adapt. That is their strength. The human commander speaks again. A message arrived on the Rillan screens. The human commander appeared, a tall figure in dark armor. Eyes steady, face emotionless. This is Commander Hale of the Soul Defense Armada, he said. Enemy forces are engaging. We will remove them. Vero stepped forward. Commander Hale, we are grateful, but this level of destruction, is it necessary? Hale stared at him. Then he spoke in a flat, cold voice. They killed one of our colonies. They took children. The room fell silent. Vero felt the truth hit him like a weight. The human commander continued. We do not negotiate with those who hurt our people. We end them. And then the message cut. Vero swallowed hard. Now I understand why the galaxy fears humans. The enemy tries to fight back from the far side of the battlefield. The enemy launched their strongest weapon, a massive ion cannon that could disable whole fleets. A bright red beam shot toward the human flagship, Vero shouted. Impact incoming. But the human ship did not move. It did not even try to dodge. Instead, a shimmering blue shield appeared around it. The beam hit the shield, spreading across it like water hitting glass, and then the shield absorbed the entire shot. What? What kind of technology is that? The Rillan officer whispered. Vero shook his head. Something far beyond us. The human flagship responded with a single railgun blast. The enemy weapon platform exploded like paper thrown into a fire. Human ground troops arrived. The enemy still had ships, still had soldiers. They tried to retreat toward a nearby moon where they had a hidden base. Commander Hale sent a final message to the Rillen. Do not approach the moon. Human dropships launched from the fleet. They entered the moon's thin atmosphere and landed. Near the enemy base, the Rillen watched the feed from a long-range sensor. Human soldiers marched across the surface wearing heavy black armor with glowing blue edges. Their helmets showed no faces, only narrow visors of cold white light. Are those humans? Or machines? A young Rillen whispered. Vero replied softly. Humans become machines when they go to war. Human soldiers moved with perfect coordination. They did not shout. They did not hesitate. They swept through enemy defenses with brutal speed. Explosions lit up the moon's surface. As human rockets hit one enemy bunker after another, the enemy soldiers tried to surrender. But the humans did not slow down. Commander Hale's voice echoed again. No survivors. They destroyed a human colony. Justice will be delivered. The Rillen realized something painful. Humans were not helping them out of kindness. Humans were fighting for vengeance. The battle changes suddenly. The enemy deployed their strongest unit, a massive command battleship 3 times larger than any Rillen vessel. Covered in red armor, armed with heavy cannons. It began charging a weapon. It's powerful enough to break asteroids. Vero felt fear rise in his chest. The enemy captain spoke through the system. Humans. You will fall before the Red Dominion. Commander Hale finally responded. His voice was calm. To calm, we are humans. We do not fall. The human flagship moved forward, ignoring dozens of shots. Its front cannon opened like a giant flower of steel. A glowing core of blue energy formed. The cannon fired. A beam of pure destructive light cut across space, hitting the enemy command ship directly at its center. For a moment, nothing happened, then the enemy ship split in 2. Then exploded into a ring of fire so bright it lit up the entire moon. The Rillen crew covered their eyes. Vero whispered, that is not war. That is wrath. A strange silence when the dust settled. The entire enemy fleet was gone. Every ship destroyed. Every base reduced to smoke. The battlefield became quiet. Human ships returned to formation. Their engines glowed softly in the empty silence of space. Commander? Hale appeared again on the Rillen screen. His voice remained cold. The threat is gone. Vero bowed his head. Humanity saved us. Hale did not nod. He did not smile. We did not come to save you, he said. Vero looked up. Confused, Hale continued. We came for revenge. And then the screen turned black. Asterisk smoke still floated in space like ghosts of the destroyed fleet. The battlefield was silent now, but something heavy remained in the air. It was not fear. It was not relief. It was the feeling that something unstoppable had just been awakened, Commander. Vero stood beside the cracked window of his damaged ship. He could still see the last sparks from the destroyed enemy command ship fading into the dark. His people were safe, but the way humanity fought, it shook him. He turned to his officer. Status of the enemy? All gone, Commander, she replied. Not a single ship survived. Vero took a long breath. And the humans? The officer pointed at the giant human flagship. It floated calmly, its engines humming like a sleeping beast, as if the entire destruction they caused had not cost them any effort. Commander, what are humans really like? She asked quietly. Vero did not answer at once. He watched the ship, trying to understand the species behind it. Finally, he said, humans are like a quiet storm. You do not see it coming. But when it comes, nothing can stand in its path. The human commander. Returns a communication alert echoed through the room. Vero straightened himself. Open the channel. Commander Hale appeared on the screen again. His armor was scratched, small burns on the metal. But his eyes were the same, calm, sharp, and without emotion. Vero bowed respectfully. Commander Hale, On behalf of the Rillan people, we thank you. Hale did not bow back, he only said, your people are safe. The threat to your species is removed. Vero nodded. We owe you our lives. Hale's expression did not change. Do not misunderstand. We did not come for you. Vero felt the words like a blade. We came, Hale continued, because they attacked humans. What they did to your world? That became our business when they attacked ours. Vero lowered his head. He finally understood. Humans did not fight for friendship. Humans fought for justice. A justice that burned like fire. The weight of the human decision. Hale continued speaking. His voice steady. You sent a distress signal. But the enemy already crossed a line with us. Your message only told us where to go. Vero swallowed. Then, what happens now? Hale looked at him through the screen. We repair your ship. We send supplies. And then you leave this system? Vero blinked. Leave? Why? Commander Hale leaned forward slightly, and for the first time, Vero felt real fear. Because more human ships are coming, Hale said. A full fleet. If they find unknown people near our battle zone, they will react aggressively. Otero felt his heart drop. You mean, your own people might attack us? Hale answered without hesitation. They will attack anything that moves. The Ryland Bridge froze in silence. Humans were not just powerful, they were united by one rule. Anyone who stands near their enemies becomes a target. A warning from humanity. Human drones arrived first. They carried repair modules and medical supplies. They patched the Rillan ship, fixed the engines, restored shields, and even delivered food. But the drones never entered the ship. They never spoke. They never approached too close, like they were helping. But keeping their distance, the Rillan understood this silent message. Be grateful. But do not forget who we are. Almost an hour later, Hale reappeared on the screen. Your ship is repaired at 70%. Enough to travel. Vero bowed again. Commander Hale, we will leave. But before we go, I must ask something. Speak. Vero hesitated. Humans show mercy to some species. But when your own people are harmed, you show no mercy. Hale nodded slowly. Correct, Vero continued. Will the galaxy be safe from you? Or should we fear what comes next? Hale did not answer immediately. He looked away for a moment, as if thinking. Then he turned back with a final chilling truth. The galaxy is safe when humans are safe. Remember that? And the screen turned black again. The Ryland prepared to leave. Engines warmed up. Shields rose. The Rillan survivors felt hope again, but also a strange heavy feeling. One young Rillan soldier asked, Vero, Commander, did we call for help? Or did we bring destruction to this place? Vero placed a hand on the young soldier's shoulder. We survived, he said softly. But we learned something important today. What is that? Vero looked at the human fleet floating in the distance. That humans do not bring peace or war. They bring what is deserved. Human ships move again. The Rillan prepared to leave. The human flagship suddenly turned. Its engines glowed brighter. One by one, the human ships aligned into a new formation. The officer gasped. Commander, they are detecting another signal. Vero's heart began to race. Where is it coming from? She pointed at the screen. A long-range distress signal blinked from a star system far away. It was not Rylan. It was not the enemy species. It was something else, something unknown. Vero whispered, will they help them too? But the human ships did not move gently. They did not prepare rescue teams. They prepared weapons. Commander Hale appeared for the final time. Rylan Fleet, he said. Leave now. Vero nodded quickly. Understood, Hull continued. Another call for aid has reached humanity. We will answer it. Vero's eyes widened. But, will you save them? Hale stared at him with an expression colder than space itself. We will decide when we arrive. The human fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel. Blue light swallowed them, and then they were gone. A final realization, the Rillan floated alone now, away from the ashes of war. The young officer whispered, Commander, what do you think they will do? Vero closed his eyes. I think he said slowly, the galaxy should pray that the next species asking for help did nothing to hurt humans. He looked at the empty sky where the human fleet vanished. Because if they did, humanity will bring the same fire. The Ryland ship turned away and jumped into hyperspace. And somewhere far away, humanity moved again to answer another call, to carry their judgment across the stars. And the galaxy watched and feared.